Was one of your goals for 2025 to be able to pay off credit card debt? Well, it's not too late to be able to do it. And in this video, I want to talk about how you can use a balance transfer to be able to pay down credit card debt. Now, did you know that they had credit cards upwards of 24 months, 0% interest to pay down credit card debt? Well, we're going to talk about it. Let's get into it. So, y'all, the last time I got out of credit card debt, I had used a balance transfer to be able to do it. And so I definitely think that one way to be able to pay down credit card debt is to be able to use a balance transfer. And we're going to look at 5 credit cards to be able to do that. But then also, let's say if you feel like you don't want to do a balance transfer, then a few other ways is to do a debt snowball. And that's going to be where you get your smallest debt all the way to your largest debt, and then just use the debt snowball method to just pay each one off. So once you pay the lowest one off, then just go to the next one and do it that way. And then lastly, you can do the debt avalanche, where you are paying off your highest interest rate. And so, those interest rates is real high right now. So to be able to keep more of our money in our pocket, it's best to not pay interest on credit cards. So you might want to pay down the highest interest rate, but the best way, no matter which of these ways that you're going to be using to pay down the debt, the number one thing that we want to do is get organized. So one, that's going to be do a budget so that we know where's our starting point. How much money do we have coming in compared to going out? How much do we have left over? And then how much debt do we have? So that means writing down all of our credit cards and how much do we owe, what is our minimum balance, and what is our interest rate. And then that way, when you write it down and see where you're at, then you can decide, okay, is it going to be best for me to do a balance transfer? Or, should I do a debt avalanche with these interest rates being so high? And then that way we can be organized and make the best decision for ourselves. So if you are going to decide to be able to do a balance transfer to pay down the debt, you would have between 15 and 24 months, depending on what credit cards you use, but we have to make sure to have a plan. Also, with the balance transfer, no matter which credit card, there could be a balance transfer fee, and those can go between 1 and really up to 5%. But, on the one hand, I think that it's okay to pay, that percentage, because if I can just go ahead and get it over to the 0% interest, I will way rather pay 3% or 4%, maybe even 5% one time than be paying 25, 26% every month. So you got to weigh the pros and the cons of doing a balance transfer. But I'm saying for me, y'all, I had $11,818 in credit card debt. And I did the balance transfer with the Discover It. And I had paid it down, I want to say between 13 and 14 months. And once I did that, I did not go back, and I haven't had any credit card debt since then. So I have paid my fair share of interest on credit cards, but probably for the last, several years, I haven't had to pay interest on credit cards. Now, the first credit card is going to be the Discover It, and I think that this is a great card. Really, it's a great card for a beginner card or a great card for a balance transfer. And even with the holidays coming up, it could be a good card with just getting a 0% interest credit card. And I think that would be good for any of the credit cards, because we don't want to be paying interest on, credit. And so with this credit card, you get 15 months of no interest and a balance transfer. Next credit card is the Bank of America credit card. And Bank of America has a couple of credit cards, because y'all, I had Bank of America and I had 2 Bank of America credit cards. I would use the Bank of America credit cards a little bit differently. And that's why I love credit cards, because you can have your own strategy of how you use credit cards. So with these 2 Bank of America credit cards, I would use it for like stuff around the house. So one time I had to get an HVAC unit. So what I did with one of the Bank of America credit cards, I was able to get cash off of the Bank of America credit card, get the HVAC system, and I had like 12 or 15 months, 0% interest. But y'all, since I wasn't using these credit cards like regular and I didn't have a balance on a credit card, Bank of America had closed not one, but two of my Bank of America credit cards. Y'all, one of them had like 12,500, and then one had a 15,000 credit limit, and Bank of America closed both of them. And so that's why I really like to report on my credit cards so that I can show usage so that they won't close them. But I was so upset when they had closed, because they had closed one and they had closed the other. But it's been about 4 years now, but it still make me mad. So, if you already have a Bank of America, I would say go ahead. But I ain't fooling with Bank of America. Now, the next two credit cards, you can get 21 months of no interest. And that's going to be the Wells Fargo Reflect and the Citi Diamond credit card. And then the last credit card is the US Bank credit card. And you can get 24 months of 0% interest and a balance transfer. So I think that's amazing to be able to do that. To be able to have 2 years, to be able to pay off the debt with 0% interest, like, wow, that is really amazing. And so I think that doing a balance transfer is the way to go. But like I said in the beginning, we want to make sure to have a plan to be able to pay the debt down, because once the 15 to 24 months is over with and we haven't paid it down, then either one, you're going to have to do another balance transfer, or two, you're going to have more debt than you had before you started. And so that's not good. And so that's where it's good to, create a plan to be able to do it. But overall, I just think that it's great to be able to have this option. But even if you don't want to do that, just create either a debt snowball or debt avalanche. But 2025 is not up. If one of your goals was to pay down credit card debt, you still have time. And so I think that this is a great way to be able to do that. So you'll have to let me know in the comments, are you going to be applying for any one of these credit cards so that you can pay down debt? Or if you don't have debt, are you going to be using any of these credit cards just to have 0% interest? I'm just like, y'all, I might have to get one of these credit cards, even though on the one hand, I pay my credit cards off every month. But it's just like, it's pretty good to have 0% interest. Because see, the thing is, I was saying in one of my other videos that I have been doing the credit card bonuses. So I'm up to $1,125. And so I'm going to be getting me a washer and dryer. Now I'm going to have to put a little extra on it, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a washer and dryer for $1,000, but we'll have to see. And so with me possibly having to do that, I could always get me a 0% interest credit card for the rest, but we'll have to see. But there's so many options. And then especially with credit, to be able to not have any interest, paying interest on credit cards. So it's definitely the way to go. So we'll have to see, because I have not applied for a credit card. Y'all, I'm 2 years since I have applied for a new credit card, because I think the last credit cards that I had applied for was the Citi Platinum American Airlines and the Hilton Honor Surpass. And I haven't applied for any credit cards since then. And even on my credit report, y'all, I don't have no inquiries on my credit report. And so I'm just like, man, that is crazy that I haven't applied for a credit card in a while. But, with the credit cards that I have, I really like those. And so a couple of months ago, I had downgraded the American Express Gold card, and now I have the American Express Green card. And so I'm really liking that card. I had went ahead and signed up for the Clear. And y'all, you talking about a credit came through so fast. As soon as I charged that $209 for that Clear, American Express put that credit on there so fast. I was like, dang, that's what I'm talking about. So I didn't know how long I was going to have to wait for it. And so I was pretty excited that they had went ahead and did that. But yeah, but I'm just like, wow, I cannot believe I haven't applied for a credit card in that much time. And so I don't know, I might see about opening up one of these 0% interest credit cards. But let me know what you're thinking in the comments. I hope that this video was helpful. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and turn your notification bell on so you'll be notified when new content drops. I thank you so much for watching. Until next time. We want to make sure that we got our finances in order for 2026. And so you'll have to go and check out my digital budget planner on my Etsy shop. Y'all, I'm very excited about it. You have your monthly budget, you have your debt repayment and your debt tracker. I'm very excited. I added a bingo savings planner to where you can put a few other things that you're trying to do. Possibly you're trying to save 1,000 or 5 or 10,000. So you can put that in there. Maybe you want to get you a high yield savings, possibly open up a Roth IRA. So you can put your savings goal in the boxes and just mark them off as you complete it. But then also you can always go over to my website and get my free budget and debt repayment template. And I even added the bingo savings for that as well. So you can drop down in the description and go over to my website or my Etsy shop.